this is really all I got to say here, man. Like, I'm 30 years old. My birthday is in 3 weeks. I've
Mm.
been in tune with hip hop and hip hop culture since I was born, man. At this point in time, I never would have imagined as a kid, riding with my Uncle Mark in his truck, listening to Tupac tapes, or being in sixth grade rapping with my friends, on cassette tapes over instrumentals and listening to the shit back, all the way to freestyling, not even knowing how to rhyme and shit like that, to memorizing my favorite rap lyrics. I
Mm-hmm.
never would have imagined that hip hop and something that started in the black community would be the driving force for all of culture in the world today in 2021, right?
Right.
I never would have imagined that. Could you have ever imagined that?
No, never, man. I grew up with vinyl records from my dad's collection. He was in New York City, the Bronx, in the '70s and '80s, so he collected those Kumo D's and LL Cool J's and Juice Crew All Stars and Run DMC's. He got all them joints, and I was listening to them as a kid on my dad's vinyl record player, and I had no idea that I was never cognizant of how big hip hop was probably until like middle school and
Right.
50 Cent and every just seeing how that just took over the pop stars and the rock stars and how hip hop
Mm-hmm.
just took over everything and influenced everything. Never
Right.
saw it coming, dude.
And I say that because I know we got to wrap this up here. I really do not want to get long winded with this, but the reason I bring that up is there are times where I have no shame in saying this. I love hip hop. I love hip hop as an art form. I love hip hop as music. I love it as a form of expression. I love what it represents. I love that it represents the underdog. I love that it represents, starting out from nothing and becoming something, because there's a part of that that's ingrained in black culture. There's a part of that that's ingrained with being a person of color in America. There's a part of that that is always going to be relatable on some level, regardless of the subgenres of hip hop, whether it be backpack, whether it be boom bap, trap, southern, west coast hip hop, east coast, reggaeton for the most part. I'm not too
Right.
big in the Caribbean music and dancehall and all
Mm-hmm.
of that, but we're at the point now where every genre of music is at the intersection of hip hop. You have artists that, like, there's a reason why a Miley Cyrus spent 2 years trying to make urban music, why Katy Perry spent 2 years trying to make urban music, why a Madonna spent her time trying to do that. You know what I mean? There's a reason
Mm-hmm.
Justin Timberlake was beatboxing and running around with cornrows in his head. There's a reason for all of that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hip hop is the most popular form of media. There's a reason why black people wear and care about, Versace and Gucci and all of these European fashion brands is because hip hop told us to do that. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers don't want black folks wearing Versace. They don't want black people wearing Gucci. They never wanted that. The reason why all of that matters is because they were forced into that. They were forced into caring about us wearing their products because of hip hop, right?
Right.
So I say that to say this, and that was a little bit long winded, right? There are times that there's things I come across on my timeline, on social media, on certain apps that make me embarrassed to be a fan of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
because some of this fuckery, some of this bullshit that artists do gets associated with it. And the thing that bothers me the most about being a fan of hip hop is that none of this does anything for the culture. I don't give a fuck about Soldier Boy saying that the rap game is as fake as wrestling, because he was right. And all of it, as funny as it is with him arguing with Randy Orton on Twitter, he was right in
Yeah.
what it was that he said. The statement he made was accurate, right? It's
Uh-huh.
just funny to me that Soldier Boy was the one that said it, because there was a time in hip hop where a guy saying "yah bitch yah" would have never gotten spins on the radio, right? Soldier Boy is a
Mm-hmm.
legend. I never listened to his music. I never listened to his music. But Soldier Boy is the guy that made he crossed the bridge between the internet and hip hop, as far as I'm concerned. I hate
Yeah.
that fucking song. I hate Crank That Soldier Boy. I hate it. Not a single day in my life has passed, bro, where I've ever cranked that Superman. I seen somebody get knocked out at a party catching an elbow because somebody cranked that Superman and hit him in the jaw with the elbow, dog. Like, true story. I
Damn.
seen that shit happen, right? But
Right.
I'm not gonna deny that that song is legendary. Soldier Boy should have won a Grammy for that fucking song, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
bothers me that, and I know I sound like an old man on the stoop, but it just bothers me that there's so much bullshit that's associated with hip hop to where it's been diluted to where all of it fits under the same umbrella. To me, that's not hip hop, bro. To me, it's not hip hop when you have a rapper who's pretending to be somebody that he's not, but he's allowed to make money off of the culture because people think that it's entertaining for him to run around perpetrating a lifestyle that he doesn't live. And I'm not going to name that rapper. All you got to
Mm-hmm.
do is guess who that rapper is that I'm talking about. And if it's who you think it is, we're talking about the same person. It just bothers me, bro, personally, that these situations happen and hip hop ends up being cornier as a result. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
To me, hip hop is the most popular genre in the world, but it's also the corniest fucking genre in the world. And I can say that because I'm a fan. And objectively, I gotta say it. Like, there are more artists that make music that make hip hop look bad than, in my opinion, make hip hop look good and make it look like it stands for something. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all
Mm-hmm.
entertainment. It's fucking wrestling, bro.
It
I don't
is.
believe I don't believe any rappers. Personally, I don't. I don't think any of these guys did 50% of the things that they're rapping about. But I at least want it to be quality music. You know what I'm saying? I at least want the lyrical content to be something I can nod my head to. You know what I'm saying? I could at least accept it being something, even if it's not real, even if it's not something that they all did, I at least want to feel that it's authentic. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can't rap, like, bro, there was a time when guys who actually could rap were the only ones who were rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. It's accessible now. It's ultimately accessible for anybody who can get a beat going, rhymes, flow, none of that even matters
Right.
anymore. As long as it's catchy and entertaining, you could potentially get a hit, or you just get your material out, you can get some listeners.
Yeah.
So
And
the bar is set low.
and I don't want to be a hater. I'm not gonna hate on anybody who's making money. I'm not gonna hate on anybody that's using music to take care of themselves and give themselves a better lifestyle. The only argument that I would make there is, and I don't want to sound negative when I say this, but hip hop is the only genre of music where rappers get killed by people in the streets. Like, this is the only genre of music where a rapper could come out with a song that goes viral that 500 million people will listen to, and then in 2 months they get murdered in the streets cold. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is running up in Justin Timberlake's house because of some shit he said on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
as much as Justin Bieber wanted to be black and wanted to be a guy from the streets, he never engaged in anything that he couldn't get himself out of. Nobody ever snatched Justin Bieber's chain off his neck. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Right.
ever nobody ever smacked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 100, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, nobody ever smacked up Robin Thicke and extorted him when he went out to LA at his video shoot. Like, why is it that in hip hop, this is the only genre where, you know, young men of color can come from the gutter, become famous, and end up dying all within the same calendar year? Why is hip hop the only genre where that happens? I don't
It's
want to get
fucked
too
up.
deep, but it's the truth. And not only that, but that could happen, and then 2 weeks later, there's another new sensation that drops a song that goes viral, and then the cycle continues. This is the
Mm.
only genre of music where it is unpopular for an artist who's prominent to have security guards that are going to protect their lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand that because it's music. It's fucking music. This isn't the dope game. This isn't, you know what I mean? Like, why is this the only genre of music where that happens? I didn't listen to Pop Smoke. I never listened to any of his music, but it fucked me up that this dude ended up dying behind a Instagram post, bro, at 22 years old.
Yeah, man. This shit, like you said, it's just a cycle that just keeps continuing. You don't see a rock star dying in his youth over a song, over a post, over a comment, over his actions on the stage or off the stage. Like no other genre has this dilemma
Nope.
or comes with this baggage. No other genre of music comes with this baggage. And for hip hop to I think it's almost in a sense of it's not like the Wild West, but there's definitely a sense of fast money,
Yep.
fast success, and the big wigs collecting their checks and
Oh
don't
shit,
care what blood is shed to get those checks.
bro.
Now, I'm not talking about just Illuminati type shit. I'm talking
Nope.
about, yeah, you go ahead and run your mouth because we can replace you in 2 months with a new hit. Or,
Keep, keep
we
cooking.
got someone else in the lineup that's ready to take your spot. You're not valuable to us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think what you're making is a lot, but you're making us more.
Yep.
And you think this is gonna last. It's not gonna last long for you, but it's gonna last long for us because we'll find another one. So I think that's just the case, man. We don't value our artists, and the artists don't value themselves. And just a sense of I don't know, man. Just a sense of pride in, I guess, one another. I don't know, man. Like a sense of protecting one
Yep.
another, and
And
knowing that it's for the love, it's for the music, and let's just keep it that way. We want to see green. We don't want to see blood red all over the dance floor, all over the
right.
streets, over music. You
And
know?
and and, and bro, and just to take it a little bit further before we kind of wrap this up, the thing I don't understand is at some point in time, the music became secondary. The actual product that the artists and the labels are marketing towards the masses became secondary to the presentation of what it looks like. To where now you have media outlets that claim to be hip hop centric or hip hop focused that don't even focus on what happens in the music. They don't
Right.
focus on the music. You have platforms. I mean, look, fuck it. I'm gonna just put it out there. We've all watched DJ Vlad interviews. We've all done that. Nobody on the internet can say they've never watched a DJ Vlad interview and been entertained by it. And
Hmm.
I'm kind of frustrated that it took him saying things that were perceived as disrespectful to black people for us to realize that this guy doesn't give a fuck about hip hop, right? But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's not in his best interest to care about hip hop. It's not. It's in his best interest to bring as much notoriety to his platform as he can. DJ Vlad, DJ Academics, World Star Hip Hop all serve to make money off of the culture, even though they're not giving anything to the culture. Regardless of how corny they make the culture look as a result of what it is that they're doing. There was a time in hip hop where a guy like DJ Academics would have no place at the table. You know what I'm saying? And it's and literally, look, we're talking about a dude that by now has made millions of dollars. We're talking
Yeah.
about a guy that has his own platform. We're talking about a guy who has a voice in this culture. I'm not going to dispute how somebody gets there because it's not my place to hate on another black man. That's not. The only thing I'm going to say is I blame the culture for changing to the point where somebody like that can make money off of it. Somebody like that has a voice in this culture to speak on things that he doesn't have any business speaking on. You know what I'm saying? DJ Vlad has access to things within this culture that someone like me or you will never have. I blame the
Right.
culture for that. I'm never going to blame the person that exploits the culture because the culture was in a position to be exploited. It should have never gotten to that point. You know what I mean?
Should have been protected.
Right. And I don't have optimism towards the future of how some of these things are going to go. It's a never ending cycle. I don't listen to country music. I don't. You can't pay me to listen to country music. But not anybody and everybody can't just get accepted in the country music, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
shit.
true.
I don't know a lot about rock and roll right now. I don't know the state of rock music at this current moment. But anybody and everybody can't just get into rock music, right? Think
Right.
about a group like a Nirvana or something like that performing on the house show circuit, the bar circuit or whatever, right? They broke into the scene amid not being accepted by the older heads within that genre of music. Anyone can break into hip hop and become a star overnight because there's no checks and balances and no gatekeeping on hip hop.
It's like anyone can come in, raid everything, and reap the benefits, and no one will check them. There's no. It's like, yeah, come on in, come on in. Like it's a little bit too welcoming, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you just can't imagine you just trying to break into reggae and you're shitty. You know what I'm saying? Or you're phony and you trying to kick it like you kicked it with Bob Marley. Like you would
You ain't
be
getting no love. You will get
right.
no listen, man. Like you are getting no love on the dance hall, bro. You're gonna get stomped out. Them dreads are gonna stomp you out and make you wish that you never pretended to speak patois. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Like, and that's a fact right there. But in hip hop, for some strange reason, if it sounds good and you got the image, you taking off like a rocket, and nobody can do nothing with you. And don't get me wrong, it's not just Takashi 6ix9ine that's corny, bro. He's not the only one that's corny. There's a lot of guys who are corny. Some of y'all's favorite rappers that y'all quote tweet and all of that are fucking corny. I'm not gonna name the one that I want to name. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? And it's not who y'all think it is for the record. But you know, I have no faith that 10, 20 years from now that hip hop will have sorted itself out and only allow certain things to fly. Because if that was the case, a lot of things that have already happened would have never happened. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey Hussle should still be alive right now. You know,
Yeah.
Pop
Yeah.
Pop Smoke, Pop Smoke should still be alive right now. You could
Yeah.
argue that Biggie Smalls should still be alive right now. You know, Big L should still be alive right now. I can continue. There's
Yeah.
guys that a lot of people have never heard of. Stack Bundles should still be alive right now. You know, but there's no checks and balances system that ensures that the people who are giving us the content are protected in a way to where they can't be exploited. I love hip hop, but there are plenty of times where being a fan of hip hop embarrasses me. Soldier Boy was right. Hip hop is faker than WWE. It's fucking professional wrestling, but he's one of the guys that made it professional wrestling. But it's not his fault. It was WWF long before we was cranking that Superman. You know what I mean? So it is what
Yeah.
it is, man. To be continued.
man. Yeah, DJ Vlad, man. Like I used to be a big time fan of DJ Vlad, man.
Right.
I found his content, subscribed. I used to check out all his videos of Michael J. White or, some older actors or, saying him and Lord Jamar and Godfrey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, oh man, I used to just be on DJ Vlad because he would get these interviews from these cats you haven't heard from in years. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they were prominent figures. Like, why the fuck have I not heard from such and such? Like, who else is interviewing like Mark Henry and and you know what I'm saying? And Lord
And New
Jamar
Jack.
and
Yeah.
and all these guys in 1 week. So like all his guests were what I'm saying? All his guests were very interesting. Then when he spoke out, said those things, and Lord Jamar was like, "You need to apologize." And he was like, "Nah, I'm like, he didn't apologize." And Lord Jamar left with Godfrey, and there was a few of them. I left with them because I got what Lord Jamar was saying, and I kept getting that sense of Vlad thought he was bigger than
Yeah.
Vlad thought he was bigger than hip hop. Vlad thought he was bigger than the guests. In the end, he would do these interviews with like Nick Cannon. So I talked to Kanye or I talked to Nick Cannon because me and him were actually good friends. I actually have his phone number. I actually talked to him. I actually hang out with him, or I actually talk with such and such because we're actually good friends. And and I have this 5-star, 3-story mansion because I'm actually rich, and I make good investments and da 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 da. Da. Like he kept having this self bravado about himself. Like why was that even necessary in this interview? Why did you
Right.
even mention that? Why you keep, you know what I'm saying? You keep like boasting about yourself. Like I have limited amount of friends because such and such and such, and
Bro.
it's like I don't fucking care. Keep interviewing the person you're interviewing for. Like
Hey
why are
yo.
you trying to
And,
act like you buddy and you're high and mighty now in your
and,
interviews? And I saw
and
that
not only
change.
and not only that, bro, but think about this. Remember the time when if somebody had DJ in front of their name, they actually played records? You know what I'm saying? Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I
Like
remember that.
like I remember the mixtapes. I remember DJ Clue mixtapes where he was, in the background. DJ Clue,
Hmm.
Cluminati, you know what I'm saying? Desert Storm. I remember DJ K Slay saying DJ K Slay,
Damn.
aka yo, DJ, yeah.
Slay, your favorite DJ. Yo, he scared the
aka, yeah,
shit out. I did
yeah.
not like listening to DJ Slay because he scared the shit out of me with his
Yeah.
songs.
You know what I'm
He
saying? I
up the
remember,
volume on his fucking voice every fucking
yo.
the track bumping. You be like, oh shit, I feel it, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, like full blast in your ears, and your heart
Yeah,
skipping
bro.
everything, yo.
Street
Like,
street sweeper. Yeah. I remember DJ Who Kid on the G Unit mixtapes. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Who Kid? Like
yeah,
I
man.
remember all of that, bro. Like that's what they used to do. I remember DJ Drama, you know what I'm saying? Gangster Grills,
Master
you
Flex.
bastards,
Uh-huh.
right? Like when DJs actually were fucking DJs. When DJ Envy was doing his series before he was even on the Breakfast Club. Like remember that? Like what mixtapes did DJ Academics actually release? What records did an artist give him that he broke that became a big sensation? So it's gotten to the point where people are getting props in this culture that have never given anything to it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it just bothers me. It doesn't bother me that they're successful off of it. It just bothers me that the table was set for them to be able to get in and do that. Because I'm not a tough guy, you know what I'm saying? I've experienced some things just like you have. We all have. I'm not gonna profess to be a street guy or any of that. But I know that I'm not qualified to speak on the things that are happening in the streets. DJ Academics made his name from speaking on real life situations that were affecting people in a certain region, right?
Right.
Like there was a time when in hip hop, bro, you would have got smacked up saying some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If you disrespected Wu Tang back in the day, there was a magazine artist that like that published some shit about Wu-Tang, and they ran up on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chio Coker, I think, the creator of Nick Fury on Netflix, got confronted by Wu-Tang because they didn't like the pictures that he drew of them in a magazine. They ran up on him and checked him about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
yeah, bro. Yeah, like, it bothers me, man. Soldier Boy was right, but hip hop is WWF. And maybe the mistake I made was thinking that it wasn't, but it is. Hip hop is fucking wrestling, bro. If a guy like 6ix9ine can say he's the toughest man in the world and nobody's knocking me out, and XYZ, go to jail, tell on the guys that put him in that position and still make money off of the same culture, tell me that hip hop isn't WWF.
Right.
And I'll tell you to watch Monday Night Raw. That's all I got, bro. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Oh, shit.